Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 meeting of the Norwood Airport Commission. This is being filmed by NCM. Is there anyone else recording?
Matt McDonald on the record.
Thank you, Matt. And I would ask anyone turn off any cell phone devices, please, at this time. Okay, the first thing before us is a project update from DeBay and King. Are they here, or?
They are not here, and they do not have an update.
So we have no
So it's
update.
nothing new.
Okay. All right, John, and then we have the meeting minutes from 4/23/2025.
Motion to approve?
There's been a motion to approve, a second, and approval of the regular meeting minutes of the Norwood Airport Commission, April 23rd, 2025. Motion's been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Airport managers report.
Yes, sir. For the month of April 2025, we totaled $45,742.35 in deposits. The monthly flowage for April, from Flight Level, we received $5,325.53. And from Boston Executive, we received $703.36. And then landing fees for the first quarter of 2025 was $6,775.20 from Flight Level Aviation. And from Boston Executive, we received $1,350.
Very good.
That's all I have.
So total to the treasurer's office for the month of April 2025 was $45,742.35. Very good.
That's correct.
John, any questions or comments for the airport manager?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Good job.
And Norwood Airport budget was passed at town meeting on
Correct.
Monday evening?
Correct.
Any-
So we have money for FY '26.
Very good. Anyone complaining?
Yeah, no, things are quiet.
Very good. Thank you. Motion to approve the airport manager's report.
Second.
You made the motion, I'll second it.
Okay, motion
Motion's
made.
been made and seconded. All in
Yep.
favor?
Aye.
New business, fiscal year 2026 commercial business permits. Airport manager, please report on that.
Yeah, we have 11 permit holders. They've turned in all their paperwork and their fee and proof of insurance, and I recommend a motion that we approve them all for FY '26.
We'll vote on these in mass,
Mm-hmm.
okay, as one. So John, any question? All the permits for 2026 are ready to go. All the applications are in, all fees paid, and all insurance certificates are in.
Okay, motion to approve.
So the motion will be to approve all of the 2026 commercial permits for Norwood Airport has been made. I will second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes. We have old business, it's a warm welcome to Cape Air and Flight Level Aviation. Proposal to establish a seasonal scheduled air service to both Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. I see folks are here. If you would just mind coming up to the table and introducing yourselves for the record, and appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, let's do the camera.
You want us to sit and face
Sit
you?
is fine, whatever you're most comfortable with,
Why don't you
sir.
guys sit over there?
Whatever you're most
How
comfortable
do I
with.
destroy your setup here?
That's okay.
Yeah, sit over there.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much for having us. Delighted to be here. My name is Chuck Ferrara. I serve as the Vice President of Corporate and Airport Affairs for Cape Air. I'm going on my 33rd year with this company, which means I was hired when I was 6. Don't I look great? And between the three of us, I'll introduce my colleagues in a moment, we have almost 70 years of service to this company. So we tend to stay once they get us in, which I think is a good sign. My responsibility for the company started out as a ramp agent and a ticket counter agent, and eventually stayed with the company and learned a lot and grew with it, and now handle things like corporate real estate, insurance, risk management, corporate security. We were invented before TSA, so when TSA came, that came my way as well. So I'm delighted to be here and to share a little bit about our experiences running this airline and being part of the Cape Air operation for almost as long as it's been around. 35 years we've been in business. So I'd like to introduce my colleagues and my friends who are here today as well to tell you hello.
Good evening. My name is Matt Reinhardt, and I'm the Vice President of Airport Services. I'm responsible for overseeing all the airports in our system, and I work with the largest employee group within the company. Thrilled to be here this afternoon, or this evening, I guess I should say, here in Norwood, and also to be joined by our partners at Flight Level. We appreciate your presence this evening.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Peter Farrell. I'm the Vice President of Supply Chain and Sustainability. Been with the company about 27 years. Started out in Nantucket. I live not too far away in Marion, Mass. I deal with facilities procurement for the company, and then number one thing is for fuel procurement.
Very good. Well, welcome, gentlemen. So you have a presentation for us?
We do. We
Very good.
have a few slides
Very good.
to share with you. And please, if at any point there are questions or you'd like us to elaborate or to stop talking, you can say that. Okay. So a little bit of details about Cape Air. We have currently 98 aircraft in our fleet, 62 Cessna 402s, the backbone of our operation. We have 30 Tecnam P2012 Travelers and 4 Britten-Norman Islanders, soon to be 1 more, so that we can serve St. Bart's. That'll be our next Caribbean edition, but we're waiting for that bird to come on board, so there'll be 5 very soon. Currently, we're serving 31 different cities. We'll show you a route map soon to talk about the regions we're in. And I'm delighted to say that I have about 650 colleagues as part of the Cape Air family throughout the various regions where we serve. Our headquarters is in Hyannis, not too far up the road. We are a Massachusetts corporation, proudly a Massachusetts corporation. Pete and I live in Massachusetts. Matt started out his career with us in St. Louis, and he's commuting. We might convince him, but he's got young children, so I think he's going to stay commuting for a while. But we are a Massachusetts, proudly Massachusetts-based corporation. And our passenger count's over 350,000 per annum, which is really something we're very proud of. When I started with the company, a man named Dan Wolf, some of you know that name. Dan was the pilot and founder of our company. He started off with 2 402s, and we had 1 route. It was Provincetown, Boston. And then we grew from there to where we are today with these stats. Our 3 regions currently are the Northeast, and you see the map here of the communities that we serve in the Northeast. This second square shows you our Montana operation. So we're based in Billings, Montana, and we serve these communities, Glendive, Sydney, West Point, Glasgow, and Havre, to Billings. That is a complete essential air service region for us. So we're connecting rural and small communities to the national aviation grid under the Essential Air Service program in Montana. And then the Caribbean operation. This one keeps growing. We keep adding more and more lines, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been great. So you can see our reach is expanding there. We started out with a San Juan hub, some routes essential air service and some commercial service not connected to EAS. And we are developing St. Thomas as a hub too for some of the more down island locations. Shorter stage length, and St. Thomas is getting a lot of direct traffic now from mainland US, including hubs from major carriers. So it's a lot easier to transit through St. Thomas than San Juan. So we've started to develop St. Thomas as an alternate to San Juan. Not to disparage San Juan, but sometimes the smaller airports are more attractive, right? Well, always easier. So, yeah. Any questions about the routes? Okay. Soon we hope to add another dot up there.
Yeah.
All right. I grew up in a household where it was discouraged to be braggadocious. My mother was completely hard on us about remaining humble, and so it's hard for me even today to brag about things that I'm involved in. But I have to tell you, I'm breaking my mother's rule, and I'm bragging about Cape Air because I am really, really proud of it. And I hope to brag with some humility, but I want to tell you I am very proud of this company, and I want you to know that we offer the statistics so that you might be able to have comfort with us and who we have become. We're not perfect, we've had mistakes, but we're always learning. And you will have before you, should you honor us to be able to serve here, a group of professionals who really work very hard and who love what we do, who see ourselves first as a customer service company that happens to fly airplanes. And the passion for aviation evolves after the passion for people. So what you will see here is a company that's very dedicated to people, to customer service, and providing reliable service that passengers want. We have a company mantra made up by Dan Wolf. I don't know where he was when he made this up, but he had an inspiration. And it's called Mocha Hagadi. M-O-C-H-A H-A-G-O-D-T-I. And it's
Starbucks have that drink?
close.
This was before Starbucks. Right.
Yeah, they may have stolen it from us. Mocha Hagadi, which means make our customers happy and have a good time doing it. Make our customers happy and have a good time doing it. And it stuck so much so that the tower at Logan used to sign off to our pilots, Mocha. So they knew it, and they would help us to promote that company mantra. And so we bring that to you today, a desire to make our customers happy and to have a good time while we're doing it. Here is our company completion rate, which we're very proud of. I think the slide speaks for itself.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. I'm going to turn this over now to my colleague Matt to walk us through some more slides.
One of the Cape Air differences is our distribution and our ability to reach all customers. And you will find us on the GDS on most major channels to be able to book tickets. If we're given the opportunity to add Norwood as an origin point, Norwood would be on the GDS and bookable from multiple sources. And looking at the Norwood service, we're going to focus primarily on the islands, Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. And I'm happy to report that demand to both of those locations remains steady. Looking at access points into Nantucket, Norwood is a natural access point for the islands, and one that over the years we lost some of our traffic to the high-speed ferries. And so we would like to be closer to that client and be able to provide airline service from this area. You'll see here that our performance out of Boston, even since COVID, it's remained quite steady to both Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, with loads being quite strong through the years. And in looking at Norwood, the Norfolk County area has over 700,000 residents with 250,000 households in the area. And if you look at the greater catchment area within 15 miles of Norwood, you're a population center of about 1.5 million. And many of those passengers are choosing to take the ferry versus traveling up to Boston. Norwood is really a natural access point to the islands for so many reasons, but the convenience factor is a primary reason. The ability to not have to deal with the traffic in the Logan and have free parking and no TSA or screening they have to go through in either direction, leaving the islands or Norwood, really is a huge convenience factor and one that we're real excited about. And we do have some historical totals on traffic out of Norwood. This was previously served by another commercial carrier, and during their years of service here, they were serving well over 500 customers a year out of Norwood with a similar service pattern. The service we are proposing is once daily on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to both Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, 2 round trips. And this is a perfect timing for our departing customers who want to fly out on a Thursday evening and fly back on a Monday afternoon. You'll see there the schedule. The departure times are 4 o'clock to Nantucket and 3:15 to Martha's Vineyard. And really, we see the potential to be able to carry a significant amount of traffic from Norwood to the islands. And we know the islands best. We have long served the islands and are well connected with those destinations. We have worked together with Flight Level to provide our ground services here at Norwood, and we appreciate their assistance through this introductory period. We're excited to be able to offer also a Cape Air agent who would work these flights and process and help our customers. Our most important assets are our employees, and we want to make sure that we're maintaining great customer service for all of our customers here at Norwood and always upholding a safe operation. And that really discusses our proposal for Norwood. If anyone has any questions, we're happy to take those.
Okay, is that your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good job. First, I'll open it up to the members of the commission. John, do you have any questions for these gentlemen?
First of all, I do have a lot of friends that started their airline careers with Cape Air.
Is that right?
Yeah.
On the pilot side? Or?
On the pilot side,
Yeah.
yeah.
When I was the Boston station manager, a lot of the young people that I feel like kids now, when I was interviewing them, many of them talked about flying in and out of Norway. So, yeah.
Used to be a real big flight school here
Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
Wiggins Airways,
Right.
which
Yeah.
Sure.
obviously became Flight Level.
Well,
The FBO services and that portion of it.
Great.
And we had the FedEx in and out of here. We had all kinds of Wiggins Airways. They flew film, and this was a very, very busy airport.
Yeah.
And we'd love to see some more traffic here, and I think it's a great opportunity. We definitely have the right aircraft for the mission here. Small runways, short runways, and it's not going to significantly impact any operations, air operations, so it's not going to be very burdensome. However, I think that in discussing with a couple people, they had mentioned to me they were worried about the airplane noise. And I said, do we have the same size airplanes are flying out of here now?
Yes.
And it is a noise sensitive area. And we do have some pretty good noise abatement procedures that we want to make sure they're followed.
Yeah, we were discussing those earlier today with our chief pilot and our assistant chief pilot who paid a visit today. And so they are aware of those. And, Cape Air is a company that specializes in community service. We serve many communities around the United States, large and small. And being a good partner to those communities is paramount. So we want to make sure that any sensitivity to additional service is something that we're always aware of. And certainly when you look at our schedule, we're not really operating during any evening hours or anything along those lines. So hopefully the impact or annoyance would be minimal.
Anything else, John?
Which airframe do you think you'll mainly use out of here?
Well, we plan to operate primarily the 402, but we have both the 402 and the Tecnam P2012 Traveler that could be launched to this destination.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you guys. That's all I have.
Of course, I'm gonna call on you, Harry. This is Harry from, Harry West from our air
Harry
traffic
West, I'm
controller.
the air traffic manager here.
Ah.
And if we're talking history, I worked with PVA in 1983.
Did you?
on East Bedford.
Wow,
And
okay.
I was manager at Hyannis Tower. I worked at Cape Approach, Boston Approach.
Yeah.
I've been around a few years.
Nice to see you.
So I'm very familiar with 402. Actually, it was my first flight in an aircraft
Really?
as a controller. So anyway, I noticed, and I don't know if you still do it, but Cape Air used to do Flight 42. Leaves out of know, oh, we've got 15 people. Oh, we're gonna have Cape Air 43 also. So
Yes.
we have sections.
Yes.
Can we, as a controller, I need to brief my staff on that. So we potentially have more than just one flight for those times, possibly two or even three.
That's a great question, and I would love to have that problem. That's something that, at least initially, there's only going to be one section. And you know, we have to wait to see how people respond to the service, and certainly if the service warrants additional sections, it's something that we would investigate and work with the airport to ensure that it works for the airport as well.
Okay.
One of the things, Harry, it's Harry, right?
Harry, yeah.
Thank you. One of the things that I'm delighted to hear that history. That we probably still have people on the Cape Air staff that you work with.
Oh, I'm sure you
Yeah,
do.
yeah. You remember Dickie Pereira? Yeah, right. He's retired, but
I
he's.
knew Daniel very well.
You did?
Like I
Okay.
said, I was manager at Hyannis Tower.
Yeah, okay, great.
Wow.
Yeah. So one of the things about this extra sections, it's changed a little bit in that it's a little bit farther out that we anticipate the need for the section. So it used to be we could just add for walk-ups, you know, or another carrier who's flying the route has a mechanical or an oversail, and they would call and say, hey, I need 5 seats, I need 6 seats, and we'd be able to just do that. Since we are the only operator here, we wouldn't run into so much surprises from other operators. But if the flights sell out with some notice, we have elves who are watching this all the time, right? You know. So if we're sold out and we're zeroed out, the planners start to say, should we open up another section? And then that would be a flight 43, as you say, on to 42. But it probably is less so than what you recall, which is a more Nantucket Airlines kind of, you know, add them as this.
I was just wondering again, because here at Norwood, you're only gonna have 2 flights a day.
Yeah,
Yes.
One to the Vineyard, one to Nantucket.
Yeah, correct.
And that's fine.
yeah,
I just wanted to make sure that I have my staff properly
Sure.
to handle commercial service.
sure,
I don't want to have any issues.
yeah,
I mean, we only have the RNAV approach, that's our lowest approach, coming in here. We don't have bad weather often, but we are in a bowl.
uh-huh,
And we do get fog here. And if anyone does anything well, it's fog.
yeah,
As you're all intimately familiar.
yeah.
Nantucket, the walks-off capital of the world.
Pete was our station manager in Nantucket for
And
many
I'm not
years.
telling you anything we
Yeah,
don't already know.
yeah, yeah,
So I want to make sure that I brief my people accordingly, such that if there is 2 flights, or, you know, bring
Sure.
another one in because you have the passenger payload.
sure.
That my people are aware of that. And the other question I have is, they used to have stereo flight plans, used to have stereo flight plans, Nantucket, Hyannis, Nantucket, Hyannis, Virginia. Is that something that's going to be incorporated here as well?
I don't know the answer to that.
You're looking at 3 non-pilots here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
We'll
I
get you
can,
that
I
answer.
can get the answer to you with
That's
about,
fine. What it was all the, you didn't have to file the flight plan, you just say you go into Nantucket, Virginia, we punch in, and then we type AA, BB, CC, depending on destination, because you had all the data, the passengers, all the information about the aircraft, everything was on file with you.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have to file a flight plan, list the pilot's name, and everything else about the flight in the flight plan. So it's basically called stereo flight. plan,
stereo, okay,
where you
okay.
just punch it in, and then we know if anything happened, they would have the flight.
I
All
see.
of that before.
We'll get that answer.
We'll get
for
the
you.
answer to you.
Again, it's not a big, I'm just curious.
How is that is that of help to you?
Well,
Or does it make no difference?
Well, for example, you don't have to file, you say you're gonna be late leaving, your peak time is at 1400,
Yeah.
1500.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be later than that. We just would type in the stereo, and the time would change accordingly, and
Okay.
put out the time.
Okay,
Say your flight's late coming in from Nantucket, going back to Nantucket.
okay,
It's not a biggie, I just wanna be able to brief my people so that
You bet.
we don't have those questions.
okay.
My experience is different than my controls. I'm the only one that's retired FAA. Everybody else is expert. They're not as familiar with commercial services on it.
Got it. I promise you, we'll make sure that the proper person addresses that and maybe even speaks to you directly. So
That's
you
fine.
can.
That'd be great.
I'm available at any time.
Okay, good. So we'll get your contact information before we leave.
Yes.
Great.
Anything else, Harry?
No, that's all.
Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm curious too, because I prefer working commercial service, to be honest with you, it's a lot more fun. I'm not trying to knock anybody, but we do have free fixed-wing flight schools and helicopter flight schools. Commercial pilots are a lot easier to work with.
Oh, good. All right, great. Okay. Sir, do you have anything? No? Okay. Do you have anything? No? Okay, all right. Just a question, people watch this on TV, and they see it on TV, and usually I get a phone call. How do you allow that come in when there's no TSA? So if you could just speak to yours, and I understand why there's no TSA, but if you could just speak to your security so that the people who will see this will understand that you run a very secure outfit. So if you could just speak to that
Sure.
security end of it?
Sure. So the TSA, when it was invented, and the responsibility for security shifted from private companies, airlines, to the government, they employed a risk-based analysis of the requirements that they placed on the operators. And that risk is assessed by many different factors. One of the main factors is the size of the airplane. And when you are under a certain number of seats, the requirements for screening are different than when you are above a certain number of seats. It also has to do with the weight of the airplane, the amount of fuel it carries, and also whether it is enplaning or deplaning from a sterile area. So the TSA regulations allow for non-sterile operations for aircraft under a certain number of seats, and ours fit that number based on their risk analysis of what to require of carriers. So we comply with the federal regulations. We have a full security program which we're ready to employ and do employ in all of those markets where we enplane from or deplane into a sterile area. In Nantucket, there is an area that allows for non-sterile departures and arrivals, and we will be using those facilities in Nantucket. Same in Martha's Vineyard. So there's no need to establish a full TSA setup or even a mini TSA setup here at Norwood. So it's a risk-based program which is developed by the government based on all of their resources and requirements. Having said that, all passengers who book are vetted against the watch list, the federal watch list, and other behind-the-scenes measures that happen by the fact that you are booking a flight with a scheduled carrier in the U.S. Those measures are not public and not something that is generally discussed, but I can tell you at least vetting against the national watch list or no-fly list, right, is done even though we're not doing actual passenger screening. So passengers will need to provide certain personal information in order to book these flights.
Okay, very good. Do you have anything, Mr.
I
Manager?
do not.
You have to do all the work?
They have provided all the documentation that's required by an initial permit applicant.
Okay.
And
The fee is in?
yes, yeah, we got the check.
Okay.
Yeah, the check, good.
So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve Cape Air, Hyannis Air Service Inc., DBA Cape Air Nantucket Airlines, to hold a commercial permit in Norwood for the year 2026 and into 2027. Is there a motion?
Motion made.
I'll second it, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, I'd like to
Thank
present
you.
you gentlemen, and Matt, you can take a picture. If you gentlemen want to come up, Mark, John, please stand up. We'll commend, stay right there, we'll present you with your permit,
Awesome.
No, you.
Oh, thank you.
okay? All right, Matt, you got the picture?
I'll get one more. 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right, great.
TV.
Welcome to Norwood. Thank you very much.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
It's our
Thank you
pleasure.
very much.
Thank you,
Welcome
thank
to
you,
Norwood.
thank you,
very
thank you
much.
very much.
Great presentation.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
And Mark, as you know, does a great job here, and anything you need, Mark is.
I submitted-
there.
Mark was very patient as he saw us through this process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Harry.
You did, yeah.
Thank you, Harry.
And his brother,
Happy
Thank you, Harry.
Memorial Day weekend.
who was with Great Lakes.
Harry, you see-
Hey, Matt.
Say again?
Matt, do you want a copy of this?
He's our DO.
This is the copy? Okay.
That's the.
I can give you mine if you want.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I think if there's nothing else before us, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved, and
So
I
moved.
second it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The Airport Commission meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.